it's his flavor. Like his shot calling is something made out of legends. But right now, do you want to get surprised? Let's go into the draft and let's hope to get some other kind of surprise. Like if Stormy doesn't use a mage mid lane, I mean, I'm all for it. I am all for it.
Like, we already knew from the previous season that Stormy is such a solid player, even though he's so new to the MPL. It seemed like he could play any mage hero and position perfectly each time. And now he has shown us he can play Hellcurt mid as well. What other heroes can this player bring to the mid lane?
That's kind of like so far apart,
Yeah.
right? I mean, like mage, oh, you gotta maintain your distance, you gotta use the skills, you gotta hit from afar. And now you're an assassin, you want to dive deep in, you want to stun the enemy team, and then just burst him out. And if he doesn't die, well, just stay there, use some basic attack, and get the kills, and not diamond. Look,
Players just asking for diamonds is always my favorite thing here at the MPL live venue. But honestly, actually, when we think about it, right, Hellcurt may not be all that different from certain mages as you think, right?
About it, yeah.
Because his job is to jump in, petrify, one-shot someone, which is what Kadita does.
Yeah,
So maybe, right?
The more we talk about it, it's like, wait, that sounds like a mage. They both use skills. Wait, they burst the enemy down. Wait, you have to take care of your positioning. Technically, he has to go in, but that's taking care of your positioning, right? And right now, the 1-1 is going to get banned. Very good, because both games, 1-1 did get wins, so let's not give over that obvious advantage. And right now, the Akai is open. However, Homeboys was the one that didn't pick up the Akai. And honestly, somebody was pretty solid on it.
Yeah, I'm quite impressed there, but it looks like Julian is going to be the priority for Homeboys yet again. We will find out whether or not this goes into the hands of Sapat or whether or not Chibi will actually be playing this in the jungle. But for now, it's going to be a very flexible, very strong first choice for the Homeboys. As for Orange, options like the Beatrix are still open, but it's not necessarily true that they will prioritize that just based on the way that Valence likes to play.
Yeah, and apologies, I was so caught up in the conversation, I just realized that the Akai has been banned now, which, okay, again, thank goodness, because this hero has been wreaking havoc throughout the day. And Neil getting the Esmeralda 3 times in a row. He is probably going to have his best Esmeralda game in this game, just because, again, repetitive. Just keep doing the same thing over again. And now Stormy going to something a little bit more traditional on the... I mean, we assume. We assume.
It's expected that he would go back to a mage hero, but part of me was looking forward to seeing what other heroes.
What if it's AIM using the Eve?
Oh
a rogue Eve? Like, I don't know. Probably not, but if it happens...
Except it's not impossible.
Yeah, if it happens, I'm gonna cast this standing up because I'm hype.
I understand what you mean. Homeboys, they're gonna be going for a slightly safer option here. They actually give the Claude to a Nip instead of the Beatrix, which is still open. So they want to drag this out to the later stages of the game. Right now, they're hovering over the Tamas as well, a hero that would easily hold the lane against Neo's Esmeralda. Seconds counting down. Looks like that's going to be the choice.
If you want to help Homeboys out, I will give you a moment during the cast to criticize the Claude and then let him pop off. But right now, we're going to look at Orange Esports. If they're going for familiarity... wait, they're hovering.
Don't do this to us right now.
They're hovering the Hellcurt. All right, never mind. Now they're looking at other options. When they were hovering the Hellcurt, I was like, are they really going to try?
I was terrified.
I mean,
I don't think any of us were prepared for that. But they still have 15 seconds to decide. Who knows, the Hellcurt could still come out. But the Masha is actually a good shout out. Typically banned out. Actually let them through this time, but nope, they're not going for the Masha. Instead, it is the Franco, and that means AIM is going to be playing on this. Will he live true to his name with those iron hooks?
So this should be a little bit better, because looking at AIM's TikTok, he has been showing a lot of Franco compilations. So I would assume among all the tanks, this is the one that he's been having a lot of practice on, because he's known for his Kadita, but right now, ever since he has transitioned into the roam position, he's using a lot of Franco. I just want to see who is going to be that burst hero that will follow him. And I'm looking at the jungler just because, for the side of Orange, they okay, so Stormy is very good on Eve, but he's good because he can take care of his own position. I don't want a situation where he has very good position, but then aim pulls the Tamus closer to himself, and then he's like, "Excuse me, I do not want that. I do not want that."
Now, I think if anything, the Franco is picked up specifically to counteract the Claude, because we saw earlier in the day, the Bloody Hunt is a really good answer to when he jumps in with the Blazing Duet, and if aimed properly, the Iron Hook can even catch him after using the Battle Mirror image. So that is what aim is going to be aiming for in this case.
There's no way not to make it into a pun.
Yeah, it's impossible, but I'll take it. Either way, Carry going to be the man from the Homeboys. An interesting choice. We have seen Valence play on this before, and this indicates that they're expecting to pick up more tanky options.
How are you feeling of Valence using a Moskov?
Your team is
I honestly would not be surprised.
Right? I mean, like, Tamus jumps in, push him away. The Julian comes in, dash away, and then push him away. The Claude tries to do anything cheeky, position yourself against a wall, and then stun him against the wall. I mean, this is one of those games. I actually feel like a Moskov might be pretty good, but if he wants to play safe, he's very good on Brody as well as the Clin. Oh, and the Popol Koopa. There's so many options.
I'm surprised at how little we have seen of Popol and Koopa throughout this season, considering how good of a marksman the hero still is. I feel like these pro players know something that we don't. I wouldn't know. I'm only a pleb legend right now. But we'll see what happens now that the second phase of bans have concluded. Orange Esports going to start things off with the Ballman. So it looks like this is going to go in the jungle again.
Yeah, very tanky for the side of Orange Esports. So this reminds me of the first draft where they have kind of a lot of bursts. Right now, the DPS is solely onto the Eve. And again, Eve is a very solid hero, can dish out a lot of damage. And for the side of Team Homeboys, they're hovering on the Angela, which is okay. But they do have an Esmeralda. And Esmeralda kind of doesn't care no matter how many shields you have.
But it would assist if someone gets hit with the Franco Bloody Hunt there. So if they do still decide to go for that, I can understand why. It just doesn't quite work against Neo specifically. We'll see whether or not that's the choice. Right now, it does seem to be, and they're locking in on Kagura as well, which is, of course, Vince's signature pick. This is the pick he always falls back to when things are getting dicey. And we have to remember, still 100% win rate on this mid hero as well.
Yeah, and this is a good matchup for both mids because it is a battle of the mid laners. Because once you pop the real world manipulation, you can't run away. Especially because I'm seeing for this game, probably the Eve is gonna use sprint. So then the Kagura could just use Yin Yang Overturn, and it's like you're gonna have to take this damage. So you have to be a little bit more careful. And right now the Irithel is gonna be picked up. Also a 100% win rate hero, although it's only been picked once.
I'm surprised at how little Irithel has been picked, simply because the hero does so much damage and has inbuilt mobility, something that a lot of marksmen will lack. And in this case, when Homeboys has this many heroes that wants to be able to jump and stick onto the squishier targets, Irithel is a great option. I'm especially curious to see how Valence will play on it, because this is one of the few marksmen where you can quite safely play aggressive.
I like that how in the first game, Valence on the Beatrix, we were talking about he's using a burst damage build, but maybe it would be better if he was focusing on the damage per second, right? But now with the Irithel, why not bow?
Yep.
He has the DPS and he has the burst. It's the best of both worlds. Why isn't Irithel being picked more?
I want to ask that question just as much as you here, but this is going to be our third match of the third series of the day, the final time we shall grace the Land of Dawn for week 1 of MPL MY Season 10. Let's make it a good one, boys. Homeboys on the blue side versus Orange Esports on the red.
Oh, I'm gonna have a long break tomorrow. I don't know about you, Stafa. Right now, Orange as well as Homeboys. Looks like both teams, they're gonna start the game off fairly quiet because, again, this is the final game of the series. You want to avoid as many mistakes as you can, especially for both these teams, except for Chibi on this Julian. You do have to focus on your farm. And looking at the Claude, a little bit more aggressive, again, with the movement speed, and the hybrid penetration, Valence already winning out the lane, doing a lot of damage against Anip.
This is going to be a rough lane for the Claude here. Again, this is a hero that will typically lose out to most aggressive marksman, and Irritel definitely fits that bill. This also confirms that Chibi is playing the Julian in the jungle. I think it is a hero that will suit him better as compared to Sabat, who will be much more at home playing on the Tamas. Ooh, Aim trying to guess the battle mirror image there, but Anip will be able to juke him out.
Yeah, that was very dangerous again, especially going up against Irritel, where her second skill could actually reduce your armor. So a lot of burst damage can be brought out from that duo gold lane. So for the side of Homeboys, Anip has to be very, very, very careful because again, as a Claude, honestly, even if you die once or twice in early stages of the game, it's fine as long as you eventually get your items.
Ooh, Aim gonna be targeted here. TV already hitting level 3. First blood going to Anip. That is ideal. Lethal counter gonna miss Homeboys completely. A really nice disengage after the first pickoff of the game.
Yeah, it looks like Homeboys, they got a good pickoff onto Aim. And Aim, he has to be mindful of his position as well because as a tank, it's fine if you die early, but if you die a little bit too much, you're gonna be so under level where you can't tank any kind of situation. Even though your real objective as a Franco isn't really to tank, you just want to initiate from afar. But again, he has to make sure that he's in a position that can help his team out and not giving away free kills.
Absolutely, that is something he has to take point of. Definitely a little bit too aggressive there. I can understand why he would want a position like that because you usually don't expect Franco to be that vulnerable early on, but this is a jungle Julian we're talking about. Level 3 is all he needs to hit, so Orange Esports needs to respect that.
Yeah, right now, Bauman is up here, Subway as well as Aim. They're controlling this tri-bush, and it looks like for the side of Homeboys, Anip and Expedia, they're completely understand of the situation, but right now Aim is focusing onto Expedia, and he uses sprint to go in front.
Yeah, Expedia in a lot of danger here. He has the sprint, but Little Counter has a pretty big AoE. And the Angela will fall over to Orange Esports. Anip using the Blazing Duet to clear lane. And Sabat, knowing that the jungler is up top, steals the purple buff. But now Chibi going to be hit by the Bloody Hunt. Yin Yang Overturn gonna miss Aim. Subway trying to buy the front line sometime as on top of the Julian. Real World Manipulation stops them from retreating, but it is not quite enough. No casualties on either side.
Quite a lot of back and forth over there in terms of trading each other HPs. From the side of Orange Esports, I do see that Valence actually can do a lot of damage even without items right now. So the Irritel could be a problem, especially with reducing the enemy's armor, going on to Anip as well as Expedia, where both of them are using the support emblem, where traditionally compared to the marksman or the assassin emblem, a little bit more tanky just because you have a little bit more HP. So they are able to survive just a little bit, but Expedia getting hooked and Valence getting the kill.
Vince, there's not much he can do about that there. The moment that Iron Hook connected, he knew Expedia was dead. And that is a nice pickup going over to Orange Esports, especially since the turtle will be coming up in 5 seconds. But we have to note, this is an Angela. Even if he dies, as long as he respawns, he can rejoin the fight at any time with Heart Guard.
Yeah, honestly, there's almost no reason for him to get out of base anyways. You can just wait in the base and then just, all right, I'm gonna hurry guard somewhere, and then pop, I'm in the map. Either ways, right now, Neo and Supply are just trading, but again, it's a battle of nothing really goes on. A lot of damage is going to be passed through each other, but either ways, right now, the focus is onto the turtle. Expedia is gonna engage. He's gonna go into Anip, but it looks like nothing's happening up top.
They nearly got balanced though. Look at his HP there. Neo almost dying to Chibi as well, but he's able to get away with sprint without Heart Guard. Orange Esports knows they are 4v3 and the Lethal Counter will secure the turtle. Unfortunate, they didn't get the kill onto Valence in the top lane.
Unfortunate depending on who you're asking. For some people, that's considered very fortunate.
Ooh.
What is unfortunate is Neo getting killed off by 2 members of Homeboys. Subway is here to protect the turret, but still, right now, for the side of Homeboys and Orange Esports, in terms of the kill, they're both pretty even, but the Homeboys, it looks like they're more proactive in terms of how they want to take the fights.
Yeah, we know that TV is going to be dishing out a lot of DPS on this Julian. There's a reason that this hero is so feared.
Oh!
Ooh, Aim getting that hook, but remember, this is a Kakura. She as well has an inbuilt Purify, and that allows Vince to get out scot-free, but they're now rotating over, targeting Anip.
Even though Vince has that innate purify, I feel like even him at that situation, his heart stopped for a while. It's like, am I safe? All right, let's resume.
Understandable, really. Iron Hook gonna just barely miss Expedia. Valence doing a lot of damage to Chibi. Gets knocked out with the enhanced chain. Aim flickers in. Bloody Hunt secures the kill onto the Julian. They're now gonna go onto a nip, but Battle Mirror Image gets out safely. Vin now going to be targeted by Neo, but he is under the tower, so he can't extend too far. 4v2 up in the top lane. Subway on top of the Claude. He has lethal counter. A nip knows he can't go back to his Battle Mirror Image. He is dead either way. Another pickoff for Orange Esports.
Right now, Orange Esports, they're in a very comfortable position. They're 1,000 gold ahead. Balance just got his Berserker's Fury, so whenever he finds someone in front, he's gonna dish out a lot of damage. Looking at the itemization over here, 2 essential crit items for the Irrital, having the Windtalker as well as the Berserker Fury. The Windtalker does gives a lot of crit chance, but a stat that doesn't really get discussed a lot is the movement speed, and it's really good on Irrital. Sapat trading with Neo, Sapat taking a lot of damage, but again, this is a Thamus. If he wants, he can just pop his ult, and then a few portion of his HP will come back. Chibi going on to Neo. Neo taking quite a lot of damage, honestly, from Chibi. And Neo, he's in an uncomfortable situation. He's going onto Expedia, but looks like Neo, he's gonna go down. Shouldn't he just focus on running away?
I feel like he could have focused on running away, but I think he was just buying time. As long as Chibi is on top of him, Orange Esports can safely take the turtle. And they did. But I think he had enough time to actually walk away after the turtle was taken. Who knows what the choice is there. Looking at the gold, Valence is currently sitting on top, but right behind him is Sapat and Anip. So, Homeboys are not too far off. And now Aim, he's going in. Bloody Hunt on top of the Claude. Valence instantly taking him out. Killing spree over to the Irritel. Here comes Subway as well, forcing the enhanced sword. Expedia dies in 3 hits to the Irritel. Valence is online.
I'm glad that you say he died in 3 hits, because I was just about to ask you, did you see that damage? Like, just from the roar of Irrital, Claude lost so much HP, and right now on the side of Orange Esports, 3,000 gold ahead. I want to talk about the gold, because Chibi, unfortunately, he has very low gold. His, I think, according from the bottom, his 5th, he has the 5th highest gold, which is not what you want to see as a jungler.
Definitely not, especially considering it's Chibi as well. He should be able to farm faster than this, but I think even he isn't that familiar with playing Julian yet, especially considering that Orange Esports has heroes that are much easier to execute on. And now that Valence is in such a comfortable situation, 2 levels up on the Claude, this is when Orange Esports wants to go. This is their time. Lord, in 20 seconds, they definitely want to secure it.
This is the problem with Homeboys that we talked about last season, where they have a little bit of a hero pool problem. I wonder if it will be the same thing for this season. Like, Julian is so strong, you don't want to give it over to the enemy side. So you're forced to pick it up, but maybe not enough practice, because Julian is so often banned that you don't really have the luxury of training with this hero.
Expedia nearly getting hit by the lethal counter, but that forced him to pop his sprint. He won't have that available. And guess what? Valence is actually going in with his sprint. He wants the kill on the Angela, and he will find it. Mega kill going over to the Irritel.
Yeah, right now Valence is truly, truly horrifying. Anip is trying to get the stacks. Sapat is there trying to give space. Aim did not manage to get anyone with the Iron Hook. Neo, everyone is just not hitting their skill shot except for the Yin Yang overturn, but Neo is still surviving. And looking at the Lord, they're focusing on the Roar, and Subway is managing to get it, and Item goes in. Item trying to get a kill onto Stormy as well as Neo. Neo taking a lot of damage. Stormy has to run away on the backline. Chibi got a kill for himself, but Valence still a lot of HP. Stormy is trying his best as a KDA god, trying to run away from Anip and Expedia, but there's not much that he can do. But at least he gives the kill onto the support and not the gold laner.
That was pretty good splitting up from Orange Esports, though. They knew that one of them had to be sacrificed, and Stormy was in a more dangerous situation, so he walks away from his team to ensure that the clock doesn't pick up more than him, ideally. Looking at the items here, we can see that Orange Esports are in a comfortable spot. Valence already getting that Wind of Nature, so it's going to be even more difficult to bring him down. Whereas only has just gotten his golden staff. So the gold laners are having a pretty obvious difference.
Yeah, right now Anit is trying to build onto his Wind of Nature as well because again, the damage coming in from Valence is just a little bit too much. Valence 5-0 and 2. I feel like he's focusing on a Scarlet Phantom, making sure that he has more attack speed and a little bit more crit rate as well. Trying to aim for someone. Vince, Sapat, Expedia, anyone. If you just waste someone's skill, someone's spell, it's all good. Valence already finishing up his Scarlet Phantom. If you think he hurts before, now you're not even going to be able to react in time.
This is a massive power spike for the Airtel here because once he gets those 2 items, every single item after that just adds so much more to his damage that Homeboys have to be super wary of wherever this Airtel is. Ideally, they want to be able to take him out before he can really dish out DPS, but the only person that has enough burst damage for that is potentially Chibi, and he is a bit behind on farm here. Just from the damage dealt, you can see Valence is leagues ahead of everyone else.
Yeah, 35,000, and we do have to talk about the Scarlet Phantom as well as the Berserker Fury. Whenever you get a crit, your physical attack will increase and your attack speed will increase. So he has a lot of burst damage, but the more he attacks, the more he gets. And Vince got caught. He has to use his spell. And right now, looking at the fight over onto the orange buff. Anip is taking a lot of damage. Aim, he's just a tank. It's all okay. Sapat is going to go down to Stormy. Neo in the back line focusing on Vince. Vince has to run away, but they have to be careful of Valence. Only Sapat died there as well as Aim. So not the worst trade in the world, but again, that's still a pretty good trade where Orange Esports, they're making sure that they control the map well.
That's a good trade-up, giving your roamer for the enemy EXP laner. But Orange Esports have enough of a lead right now that they shouldn't have needed to trade for that in the first place. They are underestimating the damage coming out from Anip, and because they all funneled together, took way more damage from Blazing Duet than they should have. Otherwise, they could have actually continued that fight. That would have been pretty big for them. So that indicates to them that this Claude also needs to be respected.
How is it that it's a 30-minute game, 6 kills onto Homebois, 9 kills onto Orange Esports, and Vince still has a 0-0 KDA, which is very interesting. But either way, right now we are hovering around Lord. Subway is looking for Vince. Vince is trying to run away. Chibi in the real world manipulation. Chibi is going to go down. Valence manages to get a monster kill. Anip going to the backline, going over for Stormy as well as Abe. Stormy still surviving. Sapat chasing after him. Valence in the backline, dealing a lot of damage onto Sapat, and Sapat is going to go down. Godlike for Valence in the backline. Sapat managing to get Stormy. But again, Stormy is not the main priority. Valence is still alive. Only Vince and Expedia, as well as Anip for the side of Homeboys. Can they do anything? Can they stop this Lord take?
That was a 2-for-2 trade, but Orange Esports again has more map control, so they're able to use that to take the Lord. But Homeboys are still doing a pretty good job of responding to things. That Blazing Duet is becoming quite scary, but we can see that aim on this Franco, it was specifically designed to counter that Blazing Duet. He just runs at the Claude, forces him to run away from Orange Esports instead of doing as much damage as possible because he does not want to be suppressed.
Stormy on this Eve looks like he already understands what he needs to do as a mid laner. He doesn't really have to care too much about his own damage. So I kind of want to see after whatever item he's building next, which I assume is a Divine Glaive, I want to see him building an Immortality or a Brute Force Breastplate, because we've seen that Anip is going to go over to him. So a little bit of defense might go a long way.
And we can see that from the lanes right now. Luminous Lord pushing down bottom side. Orange Esports are doing a great job of synchronizing the waves to try and get as much damage done as possible. Vince waiting in the brush, but Aim is going to find him, so he won't be able to execute on that ambush or has to run back to his team. And now they're going for the mid inhibitor. Homeboy successfully defends the wave against that, but here comes the Luminous Lord down bottom, allowing Valence to work on mid. They're gonna take 2 at once. Subway in the top lane as well. They're pushing straight in. Expedia disintegrates to the heavy crossbow. Aim gets the hook, so they find the killing spree onto Sabat. Chibi out of position, gonna fall. Immortality pop, Blazing Duet doing a lot of damage. Double kill, going over, triple kill, Maniac of Valence as they end the game. Lavelle, the horror story, the curse is real. Orange Esports secures the reverse sweep.
Horror story is again scary, but 2 Maniacs in one day by gold platers. Valence as well as Maoism. Like, we got 2 maniacs for the day.
I cannot
This
believe
is the first week.
This is some of the best Mobile Legends we have seen in a long time, and it is only the first week of Season 10. This is the most legendary season in the making here. I'm hoping this momentum continues forward because this is entertainment at its finest.